Morning everybody, Friday, July 31st, 2020 here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And today a little bit of a different topic to talk about, kind of related to the same thing, but more economic, because basically the fallout of this whole overblown pandemic is going to be felt for a very long time, as in years to come. Recent news coming out of the United States shows the GDP dropped, I think it was 32.9% in the second quarter of 2020. This is the biggest drop ever, bigger than the biggest drop even during the Great Depression back in the 30s. So what we're going to witness in our lifetimes, you will live to see this, is the greatest depression ever on planet Earth. And remember this, folks, all of this shit was because of an overblown flu. And like I've said for many months, and people, like I said, roll their eyes and laugh at me and think I'm a nut job. Keep thinking I'm crazy. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about unfolding right before your eyes. And this was all planned pretty much from day one. I don't know if the coronavirus was 100% planned, but there is evidence that it was a kind of a bioweapon created in a level 5 Wuhan lab in China. But that's another story, and I've already got a video on that from many months ago. Regardless of if it's planned or not, governments across the world, and mostly in the United States, have used this plandemic, scamdemic for their benefit. Not for your benefit, not for my benefit, but they've definitely used it for their benefit, shutting down economies, destroying everything. In particular, I would have to say it's more the Democrats of the United States that are responsible for this fiasco. There was no reason to shut down the economies for so long. Yeah, but how about all the deaths and how about all the cases and this and that? I'm not going to keep saying the same thing over and over. It's overblown garbage. Look at the statistics, have some common fucking sense, and you can make a sound judgment out of the data. Regardless of that, folks, the amount of people that are going to die and are dying as a result of these lockdowns and this incoming depression are going to be massive. And just because you don't hear about all the suicides and all the businesses closing and the divorce rate going through the roof and drug abuse and alcohol abuse going through the roof, guess what? Doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means they're not reporting on it. Why would they report on something they're trying to hide, you idiots? That's what a lot of people still don't get. News is not there to inform you. They're there to inform you about the things they want to inform you about. If they want to get you all mad about George Floyd getting murdered in Minneapolis, which was a tragedy, guess what? It will be all over the news, and it'll get into the hearts and minds of men, women, and children, making it seem like this is the biggest news to ever hit the world. The murder of one person. How about all the other atrocities across the world, from black babies being aborted by the thousands every single day, to all these secret wars in the Mideast and Yemen and other places that you never hear about. Use common sense. Anyways, the economic crash from all this stuff is going to be unbelievable. Now, COVID-19, the hoax still continues. Dr. Fauci is telling us now it's probably a good idea to wear goggles. So if you want to keep in line and start and be the good little sheep that you are, go out, buy your set of goggles. And if you want to look into the future a little bit and be a psychic, well, we were wearing masks, now he wants goggles. How about why don't you start buying gloves and wear a hazmat uniform just for shits and giggles? Because eventually, who knows, I'll probably recommend all that crap too. To these people, it's a joke. They think you're idiots for following all the crap. They think you're morons, and so do I. I think you're idiots, and I think you are morons. But that's just the way it rolls. Not everyone is created from the same cloth. Not everybody has the critical thinking skills. A lot of people like to be told what to do, blah, 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 right? Same thing I've been saying for months. So this financial crash, it's going to happen. It's going to be massive. And unfortunately, it's going to affect the whole world. Not like the 2008 crash, which was basically because of the subprime mortgage fiasco scam, all that stuff. That was basically US based, and it did affect people across the world, but not nearly as much as it did in the United States. This is much different. This is much different because it's going to affect all economies, all countries, all peoples in every single country across the world. No one will be immune to the shitstorm that's coming. So what am I doing to prepare? Well, initially I bought real estate back in 2010, 11, 12 in the United States. Sold those for I basically doubled my profit, made about $1 million. I think it was US actually, $1 million US in like 4 years. So I sold everything probably back in 2014 and 15. So it doubled very quickly in Las Vegas, because Las Vegas was hit the most in the United States because it was growing the fastest. So my homework and my research led me to believe it was a good place to invest. I knew it would bounce back. The amount of people going into Vegas made it grow substantially, and it's still continuing to grow. You know why? Because everybody hates California. Everybody in California can't stand the Democrats, all the mayors, congressmen, and just anybody Democratic related in the United States. People can't stand on their rules and regulations and all that crap. Have destroyed that state. So people leave. People went to Nevada, Utah, Texas, Arizona, and many other places. The amount of people fleeing California is quite astronomical, and that trend is continuing. Anyways, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but just kind of saying that I basically made a profit from one economic downturn. Now we have to look at this one, because this is going to be much different. Hopefully we can get out unscathed, as in me, myself, and my family. I'm quite prepared. The house is paid off, and I have 2 condos that are not paid off, but I have the money to pay them off if need be. But I'm just hoping the rent will continue to come in and pay those mortgages. If not, if the interest rates rise, something drastic happens, I'll probably either, if I can, just sell them for a small profit or break even, or just pay them outright, and then I won't have any debts at all to pay. So we're gonna have to see what happens here. But there's a couple other things that we need to discuss. Also is the devaluation of our currency, because people, Trudeau and Trump and all the other presidents, prime ministers across the world will be and are printing money at a large scale. Now this is not a good situation. Once you start printing money out of thin air, not backed by gold, not backed by any precious metals, basically not backed by anything, then it's just a recipe for a massive disaster. You cannot continue printing money for long periods of time without a negative outcome. And what do I mean? I mean, if they're printing this much money, what happens then is you're basically devaluing your currency, because there's so much money in circulation. It just devalues it. It's just the way things work. And what happens then is prices will increase on all goods, on all products. You'll have a form, I don't know if this is the case, this is what I've heard from other people that I follow and read and shit like that. Hyperinflation, we're gonna have a kind of Argentina, Zimbabwe style economy where, and they had that in Germany as well in 1933, where essentially you're gonna use a wheelbarrow full of money to buy a loaf of bread. Now, is that what's gonna happen for sure? Don't know for sure if that's gonna happen, but if you look at the amount of money that they're giving out left and right to everybody, it sure seems like that definitely could happen. I never thought I'd actually see the day that would happen, I never thought I'd actually see the day that I would, my hand hurts, that I would actually be saying that and actually agreeing that, because I've heard about this stuff for years and years, hyperinflation. And it looks like we might get our turn at hyperinflation. This is gonna destroy Canada, the United States, and pretty much the whole fucking world, because of an overblown flu that everyone thought was the most devastating thing in the world. And you still see it around. Even this morning, people walking around with masks. Pretty hot this morning here in Vancouver, even though it's only like 6:30 in the morning, wearing stupid masks, meaning they are still falling for this garbage. And all these people wearing masks, you're all gonna have a very rude awakening. You're gonna have a massively rude awakening that, but you won't even, the thing is, these people wearing masks, they won't even know what hit them because they pay no attention. They let the governments do all the thinking for them. So they're just gonna be obedient workers and order followers right down until the end, right down until they die, get the injection or whatever the fuck it is. They're not even gonna know what hit them. They probably don't even have any money in the bank because they don't prepare, they don't look at things, and they don't look at anything, and they don't read anything. That's fine, but in the end, a lot of these people are gonna be really, really, really screwed. So, now the big problem here, like I said, is hyperinflation. Hyperinflation probably will come, and it's gonna screw everything. There's gonna be, the thing is, people need to realize is the amount of job losses from all this stuff we have not seen yet. The job losses have not started. And as we get more into this depression, you're gonna see unemployment rates skyrocket even more than they are now. A lot of people don't understand that everybody is still getting a stimulus check in the United States and in Canada. Might sound like a good thing, but where's that money coming from? The money is not backed by anything. It's not backed by gold or silver or any precious metals. All they're doing is printing this money, which in result, like I said, will lead to hyperinflation. Who's gonna pay all that money back? If everyone's getting a $2,000 check, a lot of people weren't even making $1,000 a month on part-time jobs, and now they're making $2,000 check, and they have been for the last so many months. If this continues, and it will, we're gonna see a lot of hyperinflation, and it's gonna screw up everything. It's gonna screw up everything. We're not gonna be able to buy food. Like, it's gonna be catastrophic is what I'm saying. And I know that sounds really negative, this and that. I don't know, I'm just a realist. I have to see what's going on so I can prepare for what's going to happen. And how am I going to prepare? Well, we'll have to see what happens with those two particular condos. I sold those other places in Vegas for a profit, and I sold them just basically before the 2016 election. I didn't know if Hillary Clinton would get in and steal the election, or if Trump got in, would get in. If he got in, I knew it would be a better economy than Hillary. Obviously, the economy's not good now. That's not really Trump's doing. It's basically he's been pushed into it. And if you don't believe me, then like I said, you're not paying attention, but that's the truth. So the economic outcome from all this stuff is going to be bloody insane. I sold everything purposely. I made a profit, and you know, people are like, "Why'd you sell in Las Vegas? You got it for so cheap, and you know you can get rent on those places." I bought like 13 places there. That was like how many? 3 houses and 10 condos, and still have one place down there. It's still rented. It's just like my vacation place. But in any case, I sold all that because I made the profit, and I didn't know who was going to be in power, and I thought it was just a wise decision. Take the money, get out, and then, these economic crashes come between usually 7 or 8 years. This one's been longer. It's been like 12. So here we are in the biggest financial crash in world history that has barely even started yet. And that's why, once again, I'm a little bit ahead of the curve here. But watch this video in 3 years, or maybe even less than that. Remember the words I tell you, because I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but a lot of this shit is going to happen. It's just a matter of how bad it's going to get. That's one thing we don't know, but probably will get pretty bad. They're going to continue printing all this money, giving people basically like a universal style income, because they know that they crashed the economy. I'm talking about governments across the world, and they want to keep people subsided by giving them a little bit of money so they kind of stay in line and they don't lose it. So they are giving us paychecks, not me, but other people, paychecks every single month to keep them going. And the longer this goes on, the worse it is. So, and here's the big one. All these currencies are going to get destroyed in the end, because if you look at history, it's repeating itself. Like I said, Zimbabwe. More recently, you look at Venezuela, hyperinflation because of crashed economies, and then governments printing money out of thin air, which never really helps anything. It's a short-term solution for a long-term problem. These people in governments are morons. They're stupid idiots. Politicians do not know how to run a business, and having a country is exactly the same as running a business. If you don't know how to run a business, you should not become a politician, because you don't know anything about spending, you don't know anything about saving, you just don't know how to operate a business. And a country is nothing more than a large-scale business. You have to have a certain amount of money coming in, and you have to have less money coming out in order to keep the country financially stable. If you're spending more money than you have coming in from property tax, income tax, and all other taxes, sales taxes, eventually the ship will capsize, and all the people in that country will be effed over. And this is a worldwide thing now. Maybe some countries will do better than others, but overall, everyone's going down. Everything's going down. This is the big one. This is going to be the biggest depression the world has ever seen. So get ready. So currencies are going to crash, and there are solutions. Obviously, people have talked about gold and silver for many generations. They continue talking about it even during the beginning of this financial crash. Buying gold and silver is always a hedge against the down economy, against the devalued currency. That's what's going to happen. So buying gold and silver will be good. Another way to do things also is to buy cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, there's Monero, and there's just so many different other coins out there. I don't know tons about that. I've had Bitcoin for a little while, Ethereum also for about 3 years. Not much. I'm talking like $600-700 with very small amounts. But now I'm going to have to start looking at these financial solutions much closer. I need to start paying attention more to the financial aspect of this Corona hoax, because now, sure, it was kind of funny, and it made me angry, but I am only one person in a world of 7 billion. Obviously, I'm not going to change anything. I put up a couple videos here and there. 300-400 people see them, big deal, nothing. And these are people who already know what's going on. It's not like I'm reaching anyone who doesn't understand that we're in a shitstorm. But in any case, now it's time to get ready. Now it is time to start preparing for what is going to happen, because it will happen. It's just a matter of it unfolding into our daily lives, and it's going to happen. So it's time to prepare. If you have extra money, start investing gold, silver, cryptocurrencies. And I'm not giving you any kind of financial tips here. I'm just giving you my opinions. You do with it whatever you want. I do not suggest keeping money in the bank. Once again, this is just for me reading and understanding the basics of things, but it's not that hard to see that this will not go down very good. Things are going to unfold in not a very good light, and if you can prepare now for the next few years, probably going to be a good thing. So I strongly suggest, I know I've kind of rambling, but strongly suggest to get ready mentally, physically. If you're out of shape, start losing weight. Get your mind straight. Financially, get your finances in order. If you're in debt, I don't know. I've never been really in debt, so I don't know how that feels. I don't like that feeling, so I've never really done that. Just get prepared for the things that are going to come. I don't know how bad it's going to get, but I don't know. From the looks of it, it's not going to be too good, unfortunately. But that's just the way things are. It's out of our hands. Basically, this is just the way it went down. We had really I guess we could have stopped it if more people stood up and said something, but most people are like sheep, and they just kind of went along with it, thinking it was a big bad virus. people giving us the finger, throwing eggs at us at these stupid protests that I was going to. I thought I was doing a service. No, everyone's giving me fingers. People were throwing eggs at me and shit. And I got some of that stuff on video when I was going to those marches. Pretty pathetic. It's the slaves controlling slaves, right? Sheep controlling sheep. Pretty pathetic. I was really disheartened and disappointed with my fellow humans here in Vancouver and how stupid they are. Sure, if you don't agree with me, you're gonna finger me and throw eggs at me, but whatever. This is just the way things are nowadays. And a lot of those people, they kind of deserve what they get just for being stupid idiots and essentially morons. They're not smart people. They're not very bright at all. In any case, sorry for the rambling. Bottom line is this, folks. I will be looking, and I already am looking at investing in cryptocurrencies. Obviously going to do my homework as I always do and try to make the best decision I can. There's always a possibility of errors, but that's why your portfolio should always be, you know, percentages and different things. You don't put all your eggs in one basket, and you do your homework, have common sense, critical thinking, hope for the best. And just make sure what you're doing makes sense. Don't just do it because everybody else is doing it. That's the worst thing. Usually when everybody else is doing something, guess what? It's probably the wrong thing to do, because most people, like I've said 1,000 times, simply are not thinking and they're not paying attention. So cryptocurrencies is probably is, and you know, I've kind of dismissed this whole thing for a long period of time, but now I'm really starting to think all it is digital currency. But it's going to be probably the wave of the future. Once these fiat currencies like the Canadian dollar, the American dollar, and the euro all go down because of government spending and pretty much destroying those currencies, then people will not trust them. People will be looking for different ways to purchase and pay for products. Already Bitcoin has been taking or has been a solution to purchase certain products online and in other places, not massively being used yet. But this is kind of on an angle here, but not being used yet too much. But I think that's going to change. From the looks of it, it's probably going to change, and it's just the way it is, because we can't continue down this road of spending and stuff like that. Crypto and currencies, it's a totally different beast altogether. There's a bit of a learning curve, which I'm actually learning right now. Not the most user-friendly way to make money or purchase products, from what I can tell. But once I get in there and start figuring it all out, well, I started, but it's gonna take a little bit more time. Once I figure it all out, then it'll be easier. There's always a learning curve in the beginning, but there is no growth, personal growth, without some sacrifice, without some stress, without some anxiety. That's how everything has ever happened for me. Usually it doesn't feel the best when I'm in the middle of it, but I know it's the right thing to do. It's like working out. You know it's good for you. Nobody does it because a lot of people just don't want to, you know, lift weights or get up at 5 or 6 a.m. or go for a run, go for a jog. They just don't want to do that. And they know the outcome is good, but they still won't do it because they want short-term gratification. You got to think big picture here, guys. It's pretty nice out here, actually. You got to think big picture. It's a really nice place. Never seen this before in my life. Anyways, big picture. Economic crash coming. Be prepared. Get your shit together. Whatever it is in your own personal life, write down what you need to change and start changing it, because this is going to come. Whether you're prepared or not, it doesn't really matter to the economy. It's still going to take you down with it. And that taking you down it could be a little bit or it could be a lot, depending on your financial situation and just your personal situation. Where's this? Oh yeah. Anyways, get your shit together, get ready, and it's time to start preparing. This coronavirus thing, they're gonna keep this going. Like I said, vaccines coming, digital ID, blah 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 blah. We can't stop it. All we can do is prepare now, and that's the only thing I'm going to be doing, is preparing. There's nothing else we can do, and we don't want to lose everything we have in the bank. So it's time for me, and it should be time for you to start looking at investing. I don't know if you've ever done any investing. I've done it, you know, usually real estate investing. I'm not really a big stock guy, But now is the time to get your shit together, because it's not going to get any easier from here on. It's just going to keep getting worse. The GDP was down 33%. That's insane. And sure, they've reopened the economy a little bit, but then they've reintroduced lockdowns in Florida, California, Texas, Nevada, right? So they want to keep playing these games with us, and not enough people are standing up, so they're going to continue playing these games. So if the collective won't rise up, then we have to, as an individual, rise up for ourselves and prepare personally to protect ourselves and our families. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I've done these videos trying to inform people, like I said, but I've got 12,700 subscribers, but for some reason I only get 300-400 views in a video, which is insane, because of course YouTube is what they call shadow banning. They're not letting the people see the information, and that's just what's going on. I can't do anything about it. All I can do is start protecting myself and my family, like I've been doing all along. That's the main goal. Warn people, and then I do as I say. Anyways, let's put it this way. Talk about this a little bit more. I kind of wanted to end it right there, but bottom line is all the currencies are going to crash. People are going to need a way to purchase products, stuff like that. Like even in Venezuela, they're using Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as the new alternative, because their currency has been devalued so much. So a lot of people, they just don't think, oh yeah, we're in Canada, we're in the United States, we are protected from this kind of stuff. Wrong move. That's a mistake. Just because things are good today doesn't mean things are going to be the same tomorrow. Things always change, and you need to look at the economics of what governments are doing. Don't look at what you think is happening or what could happen. Look at the data. Look at historical figures, historical data from other countries as an example of what most likely will be happening here in Canada and the United States. Now, I don't know exactly how bad it's going to get, but it's not going to get better for sure. It's just that's not going to happen. There's just no way it's going to happen. It's not planned to happen, and that's what's going to it's going to go down that way. Cryptocurrencies are will be taken over. Just digital currencies. Basically, there's not going to be paper money. It's all digital on your phone or on your computer, on a debit card, whatever the hell it is. But start preparing. Get prepared. This is what's going to happen. There's not much we can do about it at this point, I don't think. All we can do is pray for the best and look for opportunities in the market to make money. That's all we can do. I'm not trying to prey on people losing anything, but this was not my doing. I've tried to do things to alleviate this, which, like, I'm just a little speck of dust in the big grand scheme of things. I can't really do much, just express my feelings. And that's what I'm doing. So now we're into, this is called phase 2 in my opinion, step 2, where it's time to prepare for what's going to happen. That's it. Time to prepare. And maybe if you need to, maybe get your gun license, and you can go that route as well. Be a prepper. Nothing wrong with having some storable food and stuff like that. Might sound a little bit crazy, but did you think that you'd be wearing masks and walking around in July, August almost, in 30-degree heat, 30 degrees Celsius, which is about 80, 85 Fahrenheit? I never did. So everything's off the table now. Anything is possible. Anything can happen now. Anything can and will probably happen. So we're going to just have to see exactly where all of this unfolds. So prepare. There's nothing wrong with preparing, even if things aren't as bad as I say they are, or nothing happens. Nothing wrong with preparing. Nothing wrong with learning. Nothing wrong with looking at alternatives to the lifestyle you already have. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Probably do more videos on this as the days, weeks, and months continue to unfold in this fiasco. I was never on board with this BS. I never really believed in it. But I'm along for the ride like everybody else, because everybody as a collective has agreed that this is a big bad disease that we all need to be aware of. If everybody said, F you government, no, we're going back to work, no, we're opening our businesses, this and that, then they couldn't do what they're doing. But everybody has acquiesced. Everyone has agreed this is a big bad disease. Wearing masks, wearing gloves. They don't want to go into back to work and this and that. Okay, Okay, you guys are going to feel this a lot more than I am, because I know what's going on more than all you stupid fucking idiots that are ruining my life and ruining your own lives, you stupid fucking jackasses, for no reason. For no reason. It's the saddest thing. This is absolutely no reason to destroy the world economy. But you're going to reap what you sow. You are going to reap exactly what you sow, and it's not going to be good at all. But that's all it is. Now it's time to hopefully try and benefit from this situation. Not that I really want to, but if the opportunity is here and I need to protect my family anyways, there's not much I can do. There's not much anyone should be doing. We have to protect what is ours. Worked so hard to get to where I am. Not going to let it all go down in a blaze of glory. No. We're going to continue on with the glory. I'm not going to admit defeat at this point. We have to continue. It's time to continue looking forward, time to investing in alternative sources, and if real estate goes down and if it makes sense to purchase it, I'll be purchasing real estate by the truckload. If that happens, which probably will. We'll see how everything unfolds. I've never been in a hyperinflation situation. Most people in the world have not been in a hyperinflation situation, so we're all going to see exactly what hyperinflation entails in our personal lives. It's all coming. It is all coming. It's really sad, and that's all I'm going to say on the subject. Everyone have a fantastic weekend, as fantastic as we could, and don't be too negative. You know, at least you're still breathing. You got your health and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we're not meant to be on this earth forever anyhow. I'm not saying we're all going to die, but live your life day to day, have fun, stick close to your family and friends, and just enjoy the little things, because we don't know what the future holds. Sorry, I'm not trying to be negative, guys. Just trying to point out facts from what I see them to be. Hopefully I'm wrong about all this, but I really don't think that's going to happen. Anyways, to wrap up, have a great weekend. We'll see you in August tomorrow.